Amnesty International warns political rhetoric is creating a more divided and dangerous world. Its annual report examines human rights in 159 countries. Joining us now is Lucia Silecchia, a law professor at Catholic University. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How is political rhetoric making the world more dangerous?
I think political rhetoric stokes fears, and it prevents us from thinking seriously and long-term about issues generally. It responds to hot-button issues and dissuades us from really finding out the facts.
So that is one way in which you are in agreement, at least with what Amnesty International is saying. The Catholic Church has been critical of Amnesty International's support of Planned Parenthood and abortion rights around the country, around the world, really. How is Amnesty International influential when it comes to these issues?
I think it's not just Amnesty International, but it's a lot of the high-profile human rights groups these days have been politicizing the question of, first, what is a human right? And I think we've seen over time an expansion of what we identify as human rights, which distracts us from that notion of what human rights are, those things that are universal and fundamental. More importantly, I think a lot of the political groups don't have the solid foundation of why do we have human rights in the first place. And the Church has begun with the position we have human rights because of the inherent dignity of the human person, and everything else flows from that.
There really isn't one size fits all when it comes to human rights. People are going to disagree on whether or not you have the right policy or the right approach, and the Catholic Church has a very long history of commitment to human rights. Are there areas where Amnesty International and the Church overlap?
I think there are two important things about the Church's involvement in human rights to keep in mind. First, when the human rights documents of the modern era came up in the aftermath of World War II, they were very heavily influenced by Catholic thinkers and Catholic social thought. And secondly, there is really no institution in the world who sees human rights problems on the ground the way the Catholic Church does. And so the Catholic Church serves migrants, people who are impoverished, people who are starving, who need basic health care. And so I think that is a knowledge both of mind and heart that the Church brings to these conversations to share with groups like the main human rights groups who lack that perspective. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for the Church to teach.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Lucia Silecchia, law professor at Catholic University.
Thank you.